everyone, welcome to another video. I'm a school psych intern for this coming school year, and today I wanted to talk about the top qualities that you need to be a good school psychologist. So hopefully if you're in high school or college trying to look for a career path and trying to see if school psychology is the right field for you, this will really help you out. And these qualities, maybe you already have some of them, maybe you're building these skills as you experience new things. Personally, I think these are skills that you really need to be a good school psychologist. So like I said, I'm an intern, which means I just finished my coursework and I am going to be working in the schools this coming school year. Of course, everything's virtual, but I'm super excited, and this is just my personal experience, what I've seen and what I've learned throughout my coursework and also just working with children and families. So we will get started. I have 10 different qualities, traits, or characteristics that will make a good school psychologist, and the first one is being compassionate. So compassion is not just understanding where the other person's coming from, but learning about the other person and then wanting to help them. And so I think being compassionate is so important as a school psychologist, and honestly, any educator. If you're working in a school or if you're working to help children or families, you really have to want to be there and want to work with them and want to help them. Compassion, this seed, branches out into other areas and other qualities that you're going to need. So the second one I have listed is empathy. This is a skill that you learn in counseling to really be able to do the perspective taking, so that you can not just sympathize and feel bad for the person, but try to understand where they're coming from. And that kind of empathy helps you to become compassionate, helps you to support that student or the family. The third characteristic I have is being a team player. In order to do the best job that you can, you have to be able to collaborate with everyone in your building, which means building good relationships with teachers, administrators, your social worker, special education teacher, and the team. This also applies to students, families, and just working in a collaborative environment. You don't just work in your own office by yourself, solving problems by yourself. You need all these other people to help you, and they also need you too. And I've heard countless stories of school psychologists who are good at the technical aspects of the job, but because they lack those interpersonal skills, they're not very liked in the school. They don't really go deep into everything that we can do. Like, we're not just testing machines. We can do counseling. We can help the whole school system by implementing different interventions. And like I said in the beginning, being compassionate kind of trickles down to being a good team player. If you really truly want to help these students and families and help your school, then you will be a good team player because you have your reason for being there and for being a school psychologist to help students. Being a good team player leads us to the next quality, which is being a good communicator. So being a good communicator includes understanding where people are coming from, kind of paying attention to nonverbal communication, being able to validate other people. And this is really important for school psychologists because we are in a lot of meetings. And some of these meetings are very high-stake meetings, are very stressful. Your communication skills will really matter. Whether you're facilitating the conversation or whether you're just communicating what is in your report and what the data means. If you have those skills currently, great. If this is something that you have to work on, it's a skill that you can learn. And I'm still learning how to be a good communicator as a school psychologist. And I'm really hoping that during internship, I'll be able to lead some meetings, and through my mistakes and through my experiences, I'll become a better communicator. The next trait is open-mindedness, and also, related as being non-judgmental. And this is so important in school psychology because we are a helping profession, which means we have to accept people for who they are, and that's like the beginning step of helping anyone. Being open-minded to different types of people, being open-minded to different policies or systems, and being open-minded to change. One more thing I want to say about being open-minded and non-judgmental is that you'll have to check your implicit bias because you'll be working with so many different students and families, especially in diverse school districts and diverse schools. Like, regardless of their skin color, race, ethnicity, their grades, how they treat you, I mean, you have to come from a place like as a school psychologist, as someone in the helping profession, you have to check your biases, have an open mind, be willing to learn from the other person, take their perspective. The next trait is having humility. I think especially for people who have been in any specific field for a long time, you become sort of an expert. But especially for any field of psychology or any helping profession, things are constantly changing and we really don't know everything. And so I think it's so important that you have humility, that you're always willing to learn. There's always new research coming out. There's so many cultures that you probably don't know about. I'm guilty of this sometimes. Sometimes I feel like, oh, like I know so much about this. I'm going to tell them all about it, show them what kind of skills I have, but I have to sometimes remind myself to put my pride down. You know, definitely like, don't come in as like someone who doesn't know anything. Like you are competent, but you are also humble. So you're always willing to learn. Let the other person talk and teach you something. So yes, humility and being a lifelong learner. Number 7 is being a good listener. Definitely like when you're in all those meetings, when you're having to listen to what the teachers have to say about a certain student, or listening to what parents have to say about their own child, or listening to students during counseling sessions, even if you have all this advice and all these interventions in mind, it's so important to first sit there and listen so that you fully understand what is going on, where the person's coming from. Being a good listener helps the other person feel heard, and I think that is so important in building relationships and for having a good collaborative environment. Number 8 is being objective or data-driven, and as a school psychologist in the building, there's probably only one of you, and you are supposed to be the data king or queen. Our motto is always, show me the data.
Show me the data.
A lot of meetings may be driven by emotions. Parents might want one thing, administration might want another thing, but as a school psychologist, you have to bring the data and be objective, even if that means some people might not like you, because that is your job. Like ethically, that is your job to be objective and bring the data and base your decisions off of the facts that you have. All right, number 9, the 9th quality is being patient. And I think everyone can agree with me that you really have to be patient. If you don't have this skill, either like choose a different profession or find the right grade level that works for you. But being patient is so important. Whether you're testing a kid and they're testing your patience, or whether you're providing counseling for a student and they're really hard to get through to, or whether you are working to reach out to a parent and it's really hard, you have to have patience in this field. So I think this goes for like any educator. You know, teachers definitely need patience. If you're a patient person, or if you can grow to be patient, you'll be a great school psychologist. And the last quality, and this was very hard to narrow down just to 10 qualities, but I thought this one was very important as a school psych. And it is to be flexible and adaptable, especially with school closings and virtual learning. Everyone's flexibility is being tested right now, and I think people are doing a great job, but definitely like we wear so many different hats. We're asked to do so many different things, and it's so important to be flexible. Like depending on the district you work in, the school you work in, the grade levels you work with, you might be doing different things, and maybe a different principal comes in and then they have a different perspective on how the school should be ran. How the school should be ran? I need to go back and study grammar. Which direction the school should be going in terms of discipline or interventions or academics. They might throw all these things at you, and you will have to be able to manage all of that. If you have these qualities, you will be an amazing school psychologist. If you lack a couple of these, you can definitely work towards them and build those skills. I'm still working on some of them, and you know, it's being a lifelong learner. Like these skills, you will build them for the rest of your life. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for you. If you are a current grad student or an educator or a school psychologist, I would love to hear your thoughts and know whether you agree with my list or not. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more similar content, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!